Vaughn is a solo acoustic singer and instrumentalist here in the Lowcountry who's known for his captivating music at private events and corporate events. I talk one-on-one with Eric about his latest music for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Eric Vaughn, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You know, you are well known here in the Lowcountry as a solo acoustic singer and instrumentalist. Tell me, what's new, what's now with Eric Vaughn music?
Well, been doing a lot of exciting things this year, delving more into corporate events and special events. Got the chance to play the Masters this year, played a members dinner, and that was a lot of fun. Absolutely. And got a big summer planned of events out on Kiowa and Wild Dunes. So really looking forward to all of that.
You said the corporate events and other events. How have those particular events, that is, strengthened you as an artist?
Well, definitely given me a lot more time. Corporate are a little bit more. Very sorry. Corporate events are a little bit more lucrative financially, so it's given me more time to write and create versus when I was primarily doing more of the bar and restaurant gigs and things of that. Also, really like the connections. It's given me an opportunities to play more interesting gigs like the one I did in Augusta last month.
That's amazing. So, what else are you writing and creating right now from a musical standpoint?
Yeah, so I've actually been working on a solo album. Been writing some material over the last couple of years and working with some artists. Hopefully this summer to finish it up. So really looking forward to being able to present that and introduce it to the community.
How do you want to present that to the community?
Well, it's going to be. I'm going to release it on the streaming platforms, YouTube, things of that nature. Is that what you're kind of hinting at? Yeah.
Wow. And when it comes to streaming and obviously music right now, what is the state of streaming music in your mind from your perspective?
I think it's very strong. I mean, with the advent of being able, better recording technology and being able to do that at lower cost and at home and things like that, I think it's really opened the door to a lot of artists that wouldn't have not necessarily had the opportunity. And so we see a lot more volume, I think, of music of different kinds, lots of different styles and genres, and I think it couldn't be stronger. I'm really excited to see what the next years bring.
And what styles and genres really match your music?
Match my music? I like all music. Of course, I really tend to lean toward blues and funk and Motown. I really like those styles. They've always just really resonated with me, and I think they just feel good music for sure.
What else is resonating with you from musically?
As far as what, sir?
Yeah, what else is resonating with you when it comes to music?
I guess with me, it's creating music. You know, as artists, we get into our art form to create, right? And so often or not, a lot of the times, especially as musicians, we spend a lot of our career playing other people's music. and of course, in those corporate events, weddings, things of that nature, I'm primarily playing other people's music. So it's really nice to step back from that and use my experience and what I've learned and put that to use.
So, what other people's music resembles your music?
Ooh, over the years, it's we kind of naturally pick up styles from people we listen to, and I don't know if there's anybody necessarily that I would say parallels or I try to copy, but definitely artists over the years like Mark Broussard and John Mayer, who are newer artists. Going back further than that, there's plenty of artists that. You put me on the spot with that one, but definitely artists over the years that I grew up as an instrumentalist, played trumpet through school. I was in the choir, so I was doing lots of different styles of music, and I think that all kind of plays into who you become as an artist and how you produce your art.
So, how did you become an artist?
Well, I've really been playing music at a very young age. Started as a drummer in early elementary school, and then started taking piano lessons, and I did choir. And so I was always interested in all styles and types of music. So I could never just pick one instrument or one style. I wanted to do it all, and I think that definitely has come full circle as far as me appreciating all styles and being able to incorporate those in my own writing. Um, yeah, I got my bachelor's in music education from University of South Carolina, and taught for a number of years. Also, in music education, kind of worked in some music, had some music academies here in Charleston, and so that was really fun. And getting to work with young students and was really students of all ages. And so stepped away from that about 7 or 8 years ago, and I've just been primarily performing. And so it's been a fun ride so far.
And you talk about that ride. Obviously, it's been a fun ride for you. But what is your advice to people who are growing up now in the music business and want to become an artist just like yourself?
Sure. I mean, I would think it. Take two. I think if we can collaborate with other musicians, talk to people, just like in music with any other field, it's who you know, not necessarily like how masterful you are. But so when I started meeting other artists and musicians in Charleston, they kind of would introduce me to agents and planners and things like that, and that's helped me. So I try to do the same thing to younger musicians that I meet in the area and try to help them, and so we can just really foster a really good music community. And I think Charleston is very unique in that. I've played with musicians in a lot of other cities and surrounding areas, and we just really take care of our own here, and I love it.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. So when it comes to albums and songs, who else do you want to collaborate with musically?
Ooh. We have so many good musicians in Charleston. I've got a couple secrets kind of coming that I don't want to say yet, but there's a couple great artists that I really love, and keep your ear to the ground. They'll all be coming out here shortly.
Shortly. And Eric, what are you keeping your ear to the ground to when it comes to the music business today?
I guess as far as locally, if that's what you're inferring, people that are doing lots of different things. They've got their hands in different stuff. I've got some friends here that plan festivals and also teach and do stage music and as much as I can learn from people that are doing different things that I do, I'm trying to do. And I think we have a really good culture of music in Charleston.
What do you think that culture will be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it will be even better. COVID was a hit for everybody, especially as performing artists, which is one of the reasons I kind of shifted and started moving more into private events. That was something that was still going on to some degree, whereas bars and restaurants and the close proximity of people, it just wasn't happening as much. So I've shifted in that direction, and I think over the next couple of years, I'm just going to keep pushing in that direction.
And what else do you want to shift when it comes to your music career?
Well, like I was saying earlier, more and more original music. So that's what really inspires me, what really motivates me. And so the more I can create, the more I can collaborate with other musicians on original music, maybe play on their original music and things like that. I want to do that as much as possible.
And when you look at original music right now, Eric, what is the biggest difference about that?
About my original music or original?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Sorry, what's the biggest difference in relationship to what?
Yeah, original music. I know that's a staple in your career. What is the biggest difference from where you started to right now when it comes to original music?
I think when we're younger, we at least what I did, everything had to be very technical and very fast or hard musically or something like that. And as I've gotten older, it's not necessarily as much about that, about creating music that feels right, feels good, can evoke emotions in people. And that can be very simple music. And so I think that, as we get older, we kind of tame down in some respects.
What simple music are you listening to today?
Like I was saying earlier, like I love Motown and funk, something with a good beat. And a lot of those are just very, musically what we call pocket, and there's nothing very technical about it, but it just really feels good. And so, Sly and the Family Stone, bands like that, that's really, really have a good groove. That stuff motivates me, and it always influences my music for sure.
Okay, how has your music been able to heal, transform, and inspire people?
Ooh, that I can't say. I perhaps should have talked to more people, but I would say definitely working in education and through the music academies. I've really gotten to see how that's changed. Students that are now, I met a student the other day that I taught when he was younger, and he's graduated high school, and he's or college, excuse me, college. He's playing music out and being able to share his gift, and it's just interesting to see how it's affected people, whether or not they go into that or not. So that's been really fun through my years teaching.
And how are your listeners able to increase their intuition and self awareness through your music?
Oh, that's a really deep question. Hmm. Well, I don't know how to answer that, Quinn. Perhaps I'm about making my listeners know what to do. That's a fantastic question. Yeah. I don't know how to best answer that. I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, no worries. Let me ask you this then. How many people have been introduced to your music and connect with your music and actually become instant fans?
Ooh. Um, Fortunately, Charleston has a pretty vibrant music scene. The bars, restaurants, venues are well populated, and I have really been lucky over the years in getting to get my music out to a lot of people. So I don't know how many, but it is always fun to meet people that have seen me out and know my music. Sure.
For sure. And Eric, what way do you actually attract and maintain an increasing and diverse fan base?
And so, try to keep social media marketing, web marketing, things of that nature. And I think visibility, as much as you're out, when you're out playing, people see that, they talk, and it kind of works in that fashion. But, just really tried over the years to be consistent with promoting myself, whether, like I said, online, social media or web or whatnot.
Yes, sir. And what has been the biggest proponent for your music as far as promoting?
Um, I would say between agent marketing and really social media marketing, I think that's such a great free way to market yourself in any field, and that's been really helpful for certain.
For sure. So, with all that marketing right there, Eric, who is your audience?
Who is my audience? Well, a lot of times it's corporate clients that might not ever see me again. A lot of times it's local Charlestonians if it's in some of the news. To kind of rewind, during COVID, a lot of I got my name out a lot because I did these porch concerts on my front porch, and those became very popular. We did it for about 5 weeks, and everyone was very social distance, but would drive their golf carts in, and I would perform my front porch. We ended up getting food trucks a couple weeks into it and doing things like that, and that was a lot of fun. And so Post and Courier put me out there and got a lot of I felt like really kind of helped me get into more private events and things like that. So that was really helpful, and I think a lot of people that wouldn't have necessarily known my music might have been introduced. So that was very cool.
And what do people don't know about your music today that you still want to articulate through your songs and albums?
Well, I think it's mostly introducing myself as an original artist, as someone that has their own music. I think so many people know me as a cover artist or someone that does these corporate events and private parties and things. So that's really what I'm trying to push for the next interim is my original music for certain.
And how have your musical roots allow you to explore new ground in music?
Well, I think because I am interested in lots of different styles and genres that I'm not maybe as closed-minded on trying some different avenues musically because they do interest me. If you only like country music and you just listen to country music, you might be a little bit more one-sided. So I think my diversity of that definitely helps.
And where else do you see the diversity headed in as far as music in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I mean, even on the mainstream level, you see a crossover collaboration, right?
Yes.
In rap and country and rock and all the above. And so I think embracing that and kind of trying new collaborations and new style mixes would be kind of the next step. Absolutely.
Wow, that's really amazing. Well, solo acoustic singer and instrumentalist Eric Vaughn, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.